29th of May 2022. That was the date the final of the Champions League was played last season. Remember, it was Liverpool against Real Madrid. And yeah, Liverpool lost. And guess what? Jurgen Klopp did mention that they should book the ticket for the final for this season. Unfortunately, credit card bounced. They didn't have cash, maybe. Definitely not playing in this season's Champions League final. But also what is interesting was that in the build-up to that final last season, Mo Salah mentioned something about there was a score to settle. Now, not only were they shown that there wasn't a score to settle, this season, it also been shown that Real Madrid beating Liverpool has become normal service, right? Every time they've played, there was a bit of I don't know where the hope came from, because they scored 7 against Manchester United. Somehow, there was a bit of hope that maybe Liverpool could have turned that 3-0 goal difference against Real Madrid last night. It didn't happen. What's his name? The goalkeeper, Alisson Becker. Fantastic saves during the first half. Saved them from conceding early on in the game. But guess what? I mean, it's Real Madrid. We talked about them last week and how good they can be in the Champions League. Welcome to the Hindsight Podcast. This week's episode of the show. Obviously, there's a massive game happening in Spain this weekend. We're going to talk about that later on the show. And thanks to everyone who have been following us across all platforms, YouTube, social media as well, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I think TikTok is another revelation for us in recent times, right?
Showing us love, big love. Yeah.
Going very fast.
And yeah, we've got a bit of reintroduction to do on the show today. IBK is back after missing just 1 week.
Yeah, just
through a bit of an illness. Couldn't make the starting 11 last week. But we've got the big man, or the long man.
Hype man himself.
Dez is back. IBK, first
Football
of all,
legend.
I have to come back to you.
Dez.
Interestingly, you don't come late to the podcast anymore. There are some other people that are coming late now. Don't be you, they come late again.
No cast me. I know what you want to talk. No cast me.
But I also wanted to ask you, IBK, what's the life of an influencer with 100K plus followers on Twitter? What does it look like? How does it feel?
Okay, I think the major problem with that is you miss a lot of notifications. Like when someone wants to
no be say you do them intentionally.
I did tell you.
So when
someone wants to get through to you, no be even DM. So when people go on me, I don't open my DM because when I open my DM, things very good they did there. I don't even want them at all. I remember one time, I will not mention his name. You know, you guys know him very well. We schooled together in Unilag, and he's a big boy now. He's an artist, you know. So there was a time I misplaced. I didn't find his number on my phone again. Yeah. So I was like sending him, because obviously they follow each other online. So I was like, maybe I just message this guy just to greet and all those things. So I didn't get response, and I was actually very pissed that waiting like
this guy he hear me.
This guy actually the one. I should have always the suffer for any joke that year. You get say, oh, you don't blow now. So I realized, and the truth is that I think he might have missed that message.
Yeah.
And that's the honest truth, because even with the few followers I have, I can tell you for free that notifications. In fact, if you check my phone now, notifications. If I refresh every time, you go to see +20 for Twitter. So I be make una no verse. If I know my guys, they go enter my WhatsApp. If they need anything, they go enter WhatsApp.
If I don't send you message, you don't pick. I go call you.
One of my guys won't follow me, and the thing no show me say you don't follow me. I enter WhatsApp, say Alaye dey craze. God go for the first. I first read 12 before I know what he wants. I can't say I no be so. So that's the way it is. But we keep growing.
Yeah, that's what's up. Dez is in the building as well. Last time we saw Dez, I think it was last year.
Last year November.
How's it been?
It's been good.
And since the last time we saw Dez has upgraded his portfolio. From the last time he was part spokesperson for a particular Super Eagles player camp.
But you don't do transfer.
You don't do
transfer season don't start.
So we have to hear from you. Is it a loan or is it permanent transfer?
No, nothing of that sort. I mean, you guys know me. I've always been an advocate for promoting Nigerian players, especially those ones that play in Europe and those ones that are in Super Eagles. So basically, that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing. And
so who is taller?
Who is taller between me and
Onuachu?
Obviously, Onuachu is taller. Onuachu is the tallest player in the Premier League right now. So.
I wanted you to talk us.
You met him one-on-one?
No,
Not yet.
not really. His agent is a friend of my elder brother. So basically, when he was moving from Genk in Belgium to Southampton,
So that's how
I basically
broke the
knew
news.
Because
what
even when he was
happening.
packing his load, how you even did there says that. I couldn't
Yeah, because
understand.
I wanted us to
In
like,
fact-
Des, how
in
did they
fact-
break this news? Because
in
I was
fact-
seeing Des on Twitter.
in fact, the-
Southampton fans.
Yeah, they
were on
were
your
the-
timeline.
yes.
The athletic journalist that covers Southampton.
Yeah.
He basically knew where Paul Onuachu was doing his medicals from
Yeah.
me.
Oh,
Paul Onuachu
nice.
did his medicals in Nantes in France, so he basically knew it from me, and they were like, "Oh, this guy is for real." A lot of Southampton fans were like saying they thought I was taking the piece in the beginning.
But
eventually-
that's the way it should be. In
eventually
fact, because
it was, yeah.
you look at this our bros Omar Katugba. You know, when you have and you look at all these top footballers that are not Nigerian, especially Brazilians. Someone like Neymar, you want to hear about Neymar's real transfer.
Yeah.
You see people talk to a journalist in Brazil. You know, you see people talk to same as Messi. You see people talk to journalists in Argentina.
Yeah.
But why is it different here?
Someone close to your account.
Yeah, in this part of the
Someone
world, why
in
is
your
it
account
different?
as
You know, like someone like Onuachu now, look at the way he broke the story. You know, I was actually following up
Yeah.
with even packing his load from Genk to England. I was seeing it and I was like, I wanted to even buzz that guy. How far you and Onuachu did the same house? Nothing they happen. And I was really happy to see, you know, like you said, Southampton fans. A lot of them were under his tweet.
Yeah, everybody.
What's the update?
Like,
They were waiting.
say Des.
I'm sure. No,
And
I they tweet someone with this thing. I they tweet someone with this thing. Honestly,
No, I think that and obviously it's one of the big deals about the Hindsight podcast. You get the people that we bring on the show.
They
you
be
get
top. They be top guns.
Top guns.
But wait, why Super Eagles? At least maybe they show journalists love in terms of.
What do you mean that they show journalists love? I don't understand. What are you talking
See,
about?
now, make I tell you now. I don't need your money. I don't need your money. What I need is information.
Well-
and as a journalist, I think breaking stories is what really make you different.
No, I think that's
Because-
if you put it that way, that's just one side of the story.
Yeah.
The truth is that if you're a journalist and if what you want to do is break stories, then you have to go and look for it. It's not nobody is going to give you the story on a platter.
Exactly.
Like you have to go and look for it. You have to leverage on all the relationships. Like he said, Onuachu's agent is
His brother.
You go, so you have to leverage on your relationships. You have to go and dig for the stories. Nobody go give you story now. Who go give you story?
But I go like make I just get one Super Eagles player. Just they drop the information.
IBK.
And I go here and go beg me tire.
These IBKs. Well, I mean, it's and I think there's a lot that has been going on social media as well. Even as per Onuachu, aside from the fact that Des broke the story,
Yeah.
ever since he's been announced as a Saints player, I think also people come to your timeline to come and see like what's happening. Do you have any information about the starting 11 on the day, or why is he not playing this? Why is he not playing that? Particularly the game before the Brentford game, I was actually looking at what's going on and why is the guy obviously not starting? Like that's a massive talent you have on your hands, and the way Premier League is set up, that kind of guy is
A team that is
proper.
struggling for that matter.
You understand? Has is proper for the Premier League, so it's a lot that's been going on. It's good to have you on the show as well.
Yeah, thank you
We've
very
got
much.
someone else coming on the show today. Interestingly, he's taking over from IBK of old that used to come late. FX should be here, I think, in no time now. But we've got to start off with the Champions League. Just talk about it a little bit. The results that happened, in the last 2 days. Man City, that was a massive result. And I saw a tweet somewhere where someone said, just putting it out there, that the last team that beat someone 7-0, they lost their next game 1-0 in the Premier. But that was huge, not only because they scored 7. They scored 7 against Leipzig. Leipzig is not a big team, but that was the team that gave Man City a really difficult time in time past. Yeah. And also because there's a lot of conversation around Man City and their capability to be able to win the Champions League this season. 7 goals against Leipzig. Obviously, we talk about the teams that are good enough that can go all the way. You mentioned Man City.
Yeah,
you were not here last week. You were not here last week where we talked about that. Those teams that you think have got that capability to go all the way
this season.
Yeah.
I was
next season.
I was in a conversation with a friend yesterday, and I said I'm tipping 2 teams. Even before the start of the Champions, someone predicted that it was a totally different team that's going to win this time around, and I'm putting money on either Benfica or Napoli.
Oh, so wait, this Benfica talk, you're actually serious?
If they don't clash, Benfica.
If they don't clash with who?
Benfica or Napoli, they are going all the way to the final.
You have to take it.
It's actually not Napoli.
You have to
It's
take
Napoli.
into consideration that they need to
It's
have
not
favorable
Napoli.
draws.
It's Napoli.
They need to have they need to have very favorable draws, and
Yeah.
let's say Benfica draw Real Madrid.
No, they are form.
There's
They
no
are
way.
form,
There's
forget.
no way in heaven and on
I
earth
think
that
IBK.
Benfica are knocking out Real
Yes,
Madrid.
you don't get IBK scope. IBK they na scope they use. You can't get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League and now say that if this team does not meet this team, I think they will win the Champions League.
No, what I mean is that either of those two guys will win the Champions League this season.
No, I don't think so.
They would.
You also have to take into consideration that Napoli are fighting to win the Serie A.
Yep.
And that's a difficult.
No, but
difficult
they
race.
They have a very competitive
There's no-
squad now. That's the thing. That's why they are still fighting on all front now.
In the tail end of the season, I don't think they will have the legs to combine.
No, but they are
those.
comfortably ahead in the Serie A. 18 points ahead
Yes.
of the other chasing pack. It feels like
You remember 4 years ago when Higuain was top scorer. They were very comfortable like this under Maurizio Sarri.
but it wasn't
And in the
18
end,
points now.
It wasn't 18 points though, but it was like 10 points.
Exactly.
But at the end, they fumbled.
And if you look at the people chasing them, they won their last
They're also
last
very
weekend.
inconsistent.
Yeah, last weekend they won against Atalanta 2-0. And you had Inter Milan losing to Spezia on Friday. And then people
Even
like Roma
AC
couldn't
Milan.
capitalize. Roma also lost to Sassuolo.
Roma
They
lost
to
too,
2
yes.
was it 4-3?
Yes.
AC
AC
Milan
Milan, I think
also
it was
couldn't.
a draw, so-
all of that. So it feels like Napoli have got like a breathing space, a bit of a breathing space to try and use that for the Champions League.
Exactly. So I think they have the squad.
But what's IBK? You can't just mention Benfica and just gloss over it. What's in your Benfica prediction? What is the big deal about Benfica?
Yeah, now the big deal is from the group stages. I think the way they came out of that group was a big statement, massive one.
Yeah.
You can't have someone like PSG in your group and you go ahead to top that group. With the in fact they won their last game in that, was it 6-0 or 7-0?
Yeah.
So the squad itself, they have a relatively young players, who can always find the back of the net from anywhere. And this Gonzalo Ramos guy that played for Portugal is in crazy form right about now. And even during the round of 16 against Club Brugge, they showed why they can either play, Madrid, Man City, bring anybody.
IBK, they
Bring
showed why
anybody.
they can either play Madrid against the same Club Brugge that has Kopaka as manager, played 13 or 20 games and won only 2.
I said from the group stage, you know that Benfica are ready for this season.
But don't forget,
It's not about playing Club Brugge. It's about the fact that they have a setup that is difficult to break down.
Okay.
So if you have that kind of setup, you are made to go all the way in the Champions League. And
don't forget they lost a key player to Chelsea, Enzo Fernandez. And
And-
Enzo Fernandez was a big part of their group stage. With
That-
Fernandez not available.
but look at their
in the round of
performance
16
in the
now.
round of 16.
Fair play to them. It's not look like they
Club
missed
Brugge.
him anyway.
That's the
Hasn't
point.
really
They've
looked
not.
Club
they've-
Brugge.
No,
are not
regard,
on
no,
the
no,
side.
Yeah, they're
forget.
not.
You can't
They're
say
not.
that. The
They've been
scoreline,
poor.
the scoreline was.
They've been very, very poor under Scott Parker since he left Bournemouth. So
IBK.
So you think
They've not-
Benfica cannot go all the way?
they can't. They are living in the quarterfinals.
Well, I never
100%.
thought that the day would come where IBK would pick a club in the Champions League over another club that has Pep Guardiola as the manager.
No,
That-
the thing
I-
with Man City is, bringing in Haaland changed the story. People from being a team that can go all the way and not win it eventually, people are now seeing that I think Haaland is the guy who would change the story for them. The game against Leipzig, I wanted to say that the first goal was the one that changed everything. That shouldn't stand as a penalty. These are favorable decisions that goes in the way of Man City, and if it doesn't go in their way, it becomes a problem. So when the going gets tough, I don't see Man City, because I've seen their body language, I've seen the way they played the UCL. In fact, the first leg of the game against Leipzig, I saw that this team, I don't think they are ready to play the likes of a team who has a pouch, the balls to show their capability. I don't think they are ready yet. Yes, you have Haaland who always pop out goals, but don't forget that Haaland himself always needs services.
Yep.
If you play against a team like
Of
Madrid,
course he does.
Madrid will choke you. Madrid don't give you that breathing space. So either Madrid, either Bayern Munich, can Man still beat any of these teams? I'm even going down to Benfica. I see Benfica play. I see their transition from defense to the attack. A team that is very rugged. A team that wants to always get at you. Can Man still play teams like that? I'm sorry, I don't think they can. This season.
So, like I said, I don't think we can dwell on the Champions League because obviously the draws happens
On Friday.
Tomorrow. Happens tomorrow.
Like
So what are the matchups you're looking forward to? Obviously, there's Bayern Munich through to the next round. There's AC Milan, Benfica, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Napoli, Man City.
So anyone can face anyone this time around.
Inter Milan.
Well, someone said on Twitter that Real Madrid will always get
Italian teams.
Real Madrid will always get a tough draw. Anyone will want to play against Inter Milan right now. I don't think they are convincing enough. Just know that Madrid will play either Bayern or Man City. They don't always get something good.
Madrid, Bayern or City?
Yeah, Bayern or City.
I agree with
I think so. But there's a matchup I want, and I hope it happens. A chance for Osimhen to play his childhood club, Chelsea. I think I want Napoli to face Chelsea. I think that's a game that a lot of fans will look to.
Now, speaking of Osimhen, I saw one of your tweets. You know the tweet I'm talking about.
Which one?
Wait, I have to ask you why do you come on this podcast and say one thing and go to Twitter and say something? You must answer this question. Why do you come on this podcast?
Twitter IBK is
And you get and say one thing and then go to Twitter and say something different.
That idiot only. Guy, immediately I drop my tweet. Wally said, follow me, drop the one. But you know that day.
Nowadays,
Why I said that here was that what I was saying is Erling Haaland will always be ahead of Osimhen for now. Now, because of his antecedent, because of what he has done in the past. But based on current form, based on who Osimhen is now, everyone will easily want to pick Osimhen. Not because he's better than Haaland, but because of his story. You know, this is someone who, you know, a lot of people did not give any chance, especially when he was leaving France to Italy. I remember us coming here to say, talk about the issue of racism in Italy, how he's going to survive it. Koulibaly even leaving. The black guy that you could even say, okay, this guy is someone who I can take as a big bro. Left immediately I came. So it was such a difficult. I remember one of his interviews. I think one of our guys here, and he was saying that after that injury he had in the face, it was as if his form was going to drop. Even when he was injured, this guy was in form. What was that guy's name? He was scoring goals for Napoleon. People were like, oh, I don't think Osimhen will come back and replicate that form. But he came back strong, scored 2, scored 1, always consistent, always find the back of the net. And to be honest, being a Nigerian is such a disadvantage, especially when you're abroad. If it was if it was a different nationality, if Osimhen was an English player or if he was playing for
France
or something, I think the hype would be more than this. This guy has scored 20-something goals already this season. He's put Napoli right there, battling against top guys in the world. So I think if there's anybody that should be ahead of the Ballon d'Or race, I think is Victor Osimhen. Is worth it.
So so in the space of how many weeks you have come back on the Hindsight podcast and you have repeated everything that who else was on that show that day? Myself, UB. And
Ini, I think Ini was there.
Yeah, Ini was here.
Ini was there.
So you have, in the space of how many weeks, you have come back and you have retracted everything that you said that day.
No, that day the conversation. I remember UB was trying to tell me that I can't say Haaland is better than Osimhen. That was what he was saying outrightly, and you were saying it. And I said, based on what it is, Haaland is ahead of Osimhen. So you can't. Osimhen is in form. That's what you should use. If you say Osimhen's form is big, yes, fine, he's in crazy form.
So who's the best player? So who's the best player in the world right now? Men's football, best player in the world.
Best player in the world. I'll pick Osimhen. I'm sorry, I'll pick Osimhen.
I think I support him. I think I support him. Funny enough,
he's been too consistent, way too consistent.
Haaland scored 5 goals.
But
that's the thing, when you be like person with day school now, if you will carry first class now, you one course you get 97. But me, we say my CGPA no reach anything.
You know the problem.
But
with
my
Haaland-
result they change. My result
problem
did
with-
up there. You easily want to pick me because I don't do it on a normal day. Like, no disrespect to Osimhen. Compared to Haaland is someone who, when you mention his name, you mention goals. For his age, he has scored a lot of goals.
The problem with Haaland is the type of goals that he scores. You know,
No, I don't.
see,
I think
look
that's
at-
a
no,
wrong.
no,
You
no,
can't.
no,
You
no,
can't
no.
say striker. You
Look
can't
at-
say striker.
Look
is,
at the 5 goals he scored against Leipzig. Then look at the 5 goals Lionel Messi scored against Bayern Leverkusen about 10 years ago. You know there was after the game there was an argument that Erling Haaland has joined Lionel Messi amongst players to score 5 Champions League goals in the knockout stages. You know, but when they brought both videos side by side and you compared both of them, I mean you
Haaland
argue
is a
that.
striker. He's a point man.
What's your Osimhen be?
But
keeper.
no.
That Osimhen type of goals too are always in the box. So you really cannot.
I disagree.
Not necessarily.
They are always in the box, but there are different varieties of goals that Osimhen scores. Haaland's goals are, should I say, they are a bit one-dimensional. You know, the ball will just come. He would be okay. Look at the 50 goal he scored against Leipzig. The goalkeeper punched the ball out. Then the ball fell to Haaland's leg. And
So what type of goal does Osimhen score?
I mean, look at the goal he scored against AS Roma.
Should I show you goals that Haaland has
the goal
scored this
Osimhen
season?
scored against AS Roma?
Should I show you goals that Haaland has scored this
Jose Mourinho
season?
came after the game to say that was the Drogba-esque. You know,
Should I show you?
that was the kind of
There was one goal
Drogba
Haaland
scores.
scored against Dortmund. The cross
Man
came in
City.
from.
As a Man City player,
Yes, the cross came in from Joao Cancelo. I think that was this season. Yes, I think
that was
that
was
one.
the season.
That good. You didn't even expect that I was going to score. Guy, that was a proper striker finish.
So the conversation is who's the best player in the world right now, and you said Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, I'll go with Osimhen.
So you are basically saying
Thank God you are going with Osimhen.
Osimhen is only better because of his form right now. That's what you're saying. Because it feels like
Yes. I think the thing putting Osimhen ahead of Haaland now is the form. You know, naturally.
So Haaland is not in form.
That's what I said. Haaland's standard is already there. Haaland is someone who gets 40 goals a season even before coming to Man City.
Yeah.
So doing that feat is not different. You know, we've seen it before. But Osimhen hasn't done that, and Osimhen is doing that now. So it's a different thing. You get.
Where do we see Osimhen playing from next season? I think that's another conversation because he mentioned in one of his interviews that obviously he's got a dream to want to play in the Premier League and he's working towards that.
He's always been a Chelsea fan.
They are, what's it called? They are the Napoli, is it the chairman or sports director? I don't know what they call it there. Mentioned that they're working on new deals for Osimhen, for Varaskelia, for a couple of their important players. One thing is certain, it doesn't feel like you can get any of those players out of Napoli without a serious struggle.
Yeah.
Right. But if you look at what Osimhen is doing and the teams in the Premier League, for example, obviously because Osimhen mentioned the Premier League, the teams in the Premier League, a lot of teams have been linked. You know, United fans will talk about that on Twitter. Chelsea fans will talk about whether or not they want him.
Even Madrid.
You know, Madrid has been mentioned as well. Where do we see him, even if not next season, where do we see him go after Napoli? Where do you think is the best destination for him after Napoli?
Des can go first.
I would say Manchester United. Of course, I'm biased.
Because you're a United fan.
But I would say Manchester United. The reason because I think United have lacked, that profile of striker since probably Robin van Persie left the club, say 8 years ago, in 2014. Since Robin van Persie left, I don't think we had that striker of the profile of Victor Osimhen. And Rashford, I do not think Rashford is a centre forward. I still believe he operates better from the left.
So you are not convinced
no,
by this is form?
I'm not. Rather, I mean,
20-something goals.
2 years
No,
ago.
I think it's based on his position.
2 years ago, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Rashford scored 21 goals in the COVID season. So the next season, last season under Ronaldo, with Ronaldo, how many goals did he score? So Rashford tends to go off and on, very, very often. And Victor Osimhen coming in with this his form. I mean, before the show, me and Abike were talking about if he can do it in the Premier League, and Abike said he believes that he can do it in the Premier League. And Osimhen, looking at the way Osimhen, carries himself, he has that rugged nature to his style of play. I believe that he can do very, very well in Erik ten Hag's system at Manchester United. So yes, definitely United.
Where I knew that Osimhen is going to be a big boy is when he left. Was it Lille? Yeah, in France, and he was coming straight to Napoli, like you said. There's this
say Napoli.
It's in Napoli.
Napoli.
We'll find out.
Everything talk like boom.
Say Napoli.
We'll find them in Sorojari. So there's this.
Look at
Baba can't sit. No worry. We got our day.
I celebrate you, sir.
I'm celebrating.
Welcome, bro.
Well, we mentioned FX was going to join us. It's
Now don't start already.
now
We don't
because
start.
since
Nah,
1 hour
nah,
in.
normal podcast. We don't
Now
start.
because that podcast and then FX OG before IG.
No be this one. No be action.
We got-
Take this.
we-
No. We dey freestyle. They go away.
Yeah, you get. We don't be the para. FX you get. FX that OG. Even say this is the way you do
I
today.
beg, no, they wash me, man.
Don't try am again.
I don't go try am again, no vex.
Don't try.
So
am
me with the as I dey talk, I talk say Osimhen is someone that when it was I watched this interview and I said this guy is the real deal because
Because of his interview.
he thinks big of himself
Okay.
and apart from thinking big of yourself, when you can actually replicate what's in your head on the field. Bro, is enough for you as a footballer. Even in all applications of your life, if you can, what is in your head, if you can put it down and you can do it, I think you will come big. Now I watched Osimhen.
quickly.
Yeah.
Please. Example of someone that cannot put what is in their head. That cannot put it down because the way they talk
Harry Maguire.
I said, you know that time when we dey play ball then, where if you get final the next day, you go to sleep, say you go dey for your sleep, you go dey say they give keeper leg over, you can't eye down. The thing they always do is that the kind
But
of I
in
go score.
real life, you
But
can't do it.
when match come, this
Yeah,
thing go
nah.
come, na different thing. You go come they see. So Osimhen was like, he called himself a lion in that interview, and he said when he was injured,
need
he
to watch
was
this-
seeing
watch
things on
this
Twitter,
interview.
and I always say that when that's why I like Ronaldo as well. When you see people criticize you and you can you they see am say this people they criticize, you know chicken out.
Talking about criticism, remember when Ademola Lookman of Atalanta said he was going to catch up with Osimhen?
True.
And Osimhen went on Instagram and he said something in Yoruba, but it was like somebody said the meaning was like that Ademola Lookman is joking, something like that.
No,
Well,
the thing
and
is that
eventually-
if
eventually Osimhen has surpassed
Osimhen
Ademola
going
Lookman.
to Chelsea, going to Man United, going to Real Madrid, bro, that guy go blow. Forget. I don't see this guy for.
Don't say that.
No,
Don't
no,
say that.
we're
wait,
talking
wait,
about-
Hold
FX,
on.
FX,
Let me. You don't dey talk
FX,
since. Make
wait,
I just want to help you with
no,
one.
I don't
I
want
want
to
to help
forget
you.
this thing.
You don't go
Wait,
forget.
FX,
Make I talk. Make I help you.
FX
Nah,
just got
I
energy
want to help
enter.
you. I want to help you.
One
See,
thing we want to
how many
kill you there.
strikers have left the Serie A and come to England or wherever and banged in the
FX.
last 25 years?
FX,
Check, not true.
FX, wait.
How
now,
many
FX.
Check
Now,
what they say
Osimhen-
make you check first now.
Osimhen,
That's
you know why
all.
Osimhen did different?
That's-
You know
it
why
might not
Osimhen-
be.
You know why Osimhen did
Check
different?
am now.
Wait, you know why Osimhen did different? Osimhen a person we say the same way they
That's
play,
actually
the same
true.
way they play for.
Shevchenko flopped in Chelsea.
Calm down
Them
now.
plenty.
This guy,
Crespo,
calm
Skamaka,
down.
they
No,
West-
no, they
West
follow
Ham.
stars.
Crespo
No, they
no
follow
flop like
stars,
that.
bro.
No.
But
see,
But he
struggle.
did
See,
hit.
yeah,
yeah.
Baba no
struggle.
dey follow start. Osimhen a person we see.
But Osimhen is
I see
different.
him
I
for
believe
Lille.
Osimhen
I
is
see
different.
Osimhen for Lille. I see him for Nigeria, and I see
Not
him for
even-
Napoli.
right
But this
from-
guy they play the same
No,
way.
it's not Napoli. It's Napoli.
Forget that one, Baba.
Right
this
from-
guy, see, this
right
guy,
from-
this guy they play the same way.
Right
And you know
from-
that- see,
You know,
I agree.
I watched this guy for testing.
FX.
He's a lion.
Bro, I watched this guy for testing.
Right from
Watching him
under,
live is
right
good.
from
Yeah, right.
right
You know-
from
you know-
right from
you know
under
Liverpool
17
stuff.
days.
FX, no, Meg. See, this is where I want to talk. I must talk out. You see the way I became
am,
the talk
man.
this thing. You know all those the Fuji musicians. They are live. They say Napoli live.
Hey, this guy talking
Like Napoli, like Lagos.
Like Napoli, like Napoli, like Lagos.
yeah, man.
And they tell you,
Osimhen the para. Osimhen paradigm body. See,
I think it's
better
Osimhen-
paradigm.
I don't say you dey
Forget
passionate
Osimhen,
about
better
it. It's
paradigm
crazy.
body. You know they talk that one.
Let me help you out here. I agree. The truth is, Osimhen has grown in leaps and bounds from Lille to what he is today, and President's Day. It's the records are there, stats
Yeah,
are there,
yeah.
no doubt, without a doubt. And he's a hustler. He's like a Drogba 2.0. He keeps the defenders on their toes. He runs on the shoulder. He always stays in the box 6 a lot now. He's smarter. He doesn't run around too much. I remember when I watched him 2 years ago. He had fires for Teslim.
You know, we said it
Conserve his
here.
energy.
We said it here that
I remember
he
even
runs
tweeting it.
too
You and
much.
I even spoke about it. Now he has to be more intelligent
Yes.
to play, and he has. And that's coaching too. We have to give a lot of credit to Spalletti. You understand? And that lion, whatever, and I say he's no longer. It's not about self-centeredness anymore. He could have scored a hat trick yesterday, but he passed on that penalty to Zelensky.
But I think he wanted it.
No, he didn't want it. They interviewed him after now, the post-match
he
presser.
said
So
penalty
where
or
I'm
not,
going with
penalty.
Osimhen, I say, I agree. It's very possible he will hit in any other league in the world. I feel he's even made for Chelsea. It's the right product that we need as a football club, right from the days of Didier Drogba. He has everything.
That was
to
that was
actually hit.
Abramovich's
I
Chelsea,
think
not
he-
this Chelsea. Though.
You never know, because we're still a wing.
Not just we
We
man
still have very
go see
good
Osimhen.
wingers.
Man go see Osimhen, go look dressing room, say, make I
You
pass.
know,
give.
that's one of the reasons
Thank
why
you.
I mean he looks like a proper Chelsea guy, Chelsea striker. But the reason I don't want him to move to Chelsea, obviously
I think he's made for
there's
Madrid.
sentimental value attached.
I think he's made for Madrid.
Hey,
You were here. Were you not the one that said Madrid will swallow
Don't
him
kill
up
him. He go swallow him, man.
when we had the
I
show?
said it, but
Come on.
I now realize that Osimhen is someone
It will
who
swallow him,
no,
sir.
he can't.
I honestly don't think Osimhen should go to.
He doesn't even suit that kind of team,
Okay,
in my
why?
opinion. Sha.
Why?
I don't know why.
Now,
Madrid-
before you came, I said something of which I said okay, I was wrong about it. I made mention of Osimhen's personality, going to a traditional club like Real Madrid, and someone said that I was wrong, and they gave me reasons. Rufai said that when Benzema came to Madrid, even despite being this big guy at Lyon, he still there to learn something.
So the difference
a
is
kid
that
in Lyon.
I want to
the
help you
difference
guys.
He was a
the
kid in Lyon.
difference is that what you said Osimhen doesn't have the personality to play for Madrid. I were like.
No, and I
I
said,
were like when Benzema was there, when Benzema got in, he didn't have the personality.
True.
Luka Modric had worst signing of the season
Yeah.
in his first season. But the thing is that the patience that existed then doesn't exist now.
Look at Eden Hazard. Look at Eden Hazard.
And also,
4 years
it's also
to flop.
important to note when Benzema joined Madrid in 2009, there was a Raul.
Yep.
Raul was number 7.
Yep.
Ronaldo even had to take number 9.
Yep.
I think
alongside
Hazard's
Benzema.
zone is not.
So
Hazard's
Benzema
zone
did
is
not just
not being.
Benzema did not just come to Madrid.
Yeah,
to,
I think
to
Hazard's
take
zone
over
is
the
different
center forward
context.
position.
I agree that
Hazard has
Hazard's-
been.
No
he wasn't
doubt.
even
But
available to
going
play.
back to the Osimhen to Real Madrid guys, think about it. The way Real Madrid have been playing in the last 3 to 4 years, the number 9 is definitely a workaholic. Benzema drops deep.
Yep.
Whoever is playing that 9, even when Benzema was injured,
Drops deep,
Rodrigo,
dictates play.
that young boy, the 18-year-old that scored on his debut. How come I can't remember? Is it Martinez or something?
Nah, I can't
Ramos
remember.
Martinez
remember
or so good. Wally, please help me out with that. But the truth is, if Osimhen can play the way Benzema does, and he doesn't have that attribute now, I'm sorry.
Well, I think also
He doesn't have
I
that.
think also to be able, Benzema is able to do that because the Benzema has refined his game over time.
Or
Exactly.
by
This
Instagram
thing that
followers.
Benzema does,
Played almost a decade with
this thing,
Ronaldo.
this
So
thing that
he had
Benzema
to learn
does, I think, is not something that comes to you naturally as a striker.
It's over time, I
It's
agree.
over time,
Yeah.
and it depends on what they need. And you see, another thing with Madrid would be that why Osimhen might go there and it might work out is that whether they like it or not, Modric might still be doing what he's doing at 37, but at some point they would have to transition
Yes.
those older players. And when you do that, why they've been able to manage the tired legs of people like Modric, Cruz and the likes, even though they are still performing, is because they added some youthfulness into the team. So you have them, Valverde, you have them, what's his name? Chouameni, Camavinga, all those people. Experience, youthful legs, combine that together. But at some point, you need to revitalize the entire squad. And maybe that time, even your approach, your style of play needs to change. So maybe now you need a very powerful striker. So maybe now you need someone that can really cause problems.
So now here's the
and-
question:
and there's
Haaland or Osimhen? Who do you think fits Madrid better?
Very
Haaland-
similar.
Haaland or Osimhen. I think that Osimhen offers. I think that Osimhen, to a team like Madrid, the Madrid of now, right now, Osimhen offers a lot more. Because Haaland is not supposed to play in a team. The reason Haaland is scoring that much at Man City is because it is Man City. They create a lot anyway. Right? But Haaland, I don't think he's suited to a team where they pass too many times. Haaland is the kind of guy, you have the ball, he makes the run, put the ball where he wants it. But City play passes. Look, if City are a very direct team, that 5 goals where Haaland scored that day, maybe he go score 10.
Yeah.
Maybe he go score 7.
I agree.
Because that boy is crazy.
But Osimhen was struggling in Madrid. I don't even think he's a Madrid.
I think.
I honestly feel like
pressure will be too much on him.
I think Real Madrid.
No, obviously there's always that
dressing room is
pressure.
incredible.
There's always that pressure.
And don't forget, historically, Manchester United is like his top gap to Madrid. Beckham, Ronaldo, Van Nistelrooy, even Chicharito.
I'll be honest. I think Osimhen is more suited to Man United than any other person.
100%.
But
I
if
don't
Chelsea,
see any club.
Don
my
Carlo is
issue-
still their manager at Real Madrid.
I don't want Chelsea because Chelsea. No, there's this thing with Man United. I think United. They play with space. Like there's this room for
Now on that Ten Hag. Yeah.
even under Ole as well. United, they always see this opportunity to explore, especially when they are on the attack. But Chelsea plays in a very stiff way. They don't really express. There's no expression. Lack of expression. Guy, United play with so much expression, and that's
Disagree.
why Osimhen will easily
And-
will
and
bang
to
at
add on-
United
Disagree.
easily.
And
Yes.
to add to IBK's
Chelsea
point,
they don't express themselves.
Don't put.
How
don't
can you
put-
say they don't with
don't-
Joao Felix, Enzo,
don't-
and the
don't
likes,
put-
bro?
don't put
Madrid,
Chelsea
they
fan
don't.
sentiments.
They don't.
No, I'm not.
They
I'm
don't.
not.
No,
In the
honestly,
last 4
honestly,
matches, Chelsea has been very expressive.
Honestly, they don't.
The reason
I'm
I don't,
sorry.
To add
the
to
reason I
IBK's
don't,
point.
the reason I don't,
I get where you're going, but
the
I
reason
don't
I
think
don't
that's
completely disagree with him, I disagree with you to some degree, but the reason I don't completely disagree is because the team has struggled. So I can see where you're coming from and
Exactly.
saying they're a bit rigid. But that, obviously, in the last couple of games that they won, has changed a lot. But my own major reason why I think Osimhen to Chelsea is built like a proper Chelsea striker. But with the coach that Chelsea have got now, I've not entirely seen how Potter wants to play with a striker. I don't entirely understand
But it's always
his
been like that with
ideology with what he wants to do with a striker. It's not always been like that with Chelsea. When Lampard was at Chelsea, it was clear. I'm going to play with a striker that can get in the box, that can drop, that can play, that can also score. That's why Tammy Abraham was playing.
But he
100%.
hasn't had the opportunity to have a striker per se. Aubameyang, not his player.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like I don't understand just
Broha.
yet what he wants to
Broha
do
is
with a
injured.
striker.
You
So
know.
that's what I'm saying.
And also, Potter at Brighton struggled with goal scoring.
Do you get so?
Yeah, he's a defensive coach in a way.
I don't.
no doubt.
I'm not sure of his because the way he's playing this man now, the way he's playing Kai Havertz now, I'm a little bit scared
That was
for how
sensible still.
He wants to use a striker. Maybe this guy wants a striker that's just very industrious. Maybe he doesn't necessarily need his striker to be the guy that scores all the goals. And the problem with that is that from a team perspective, it's not a problem. But for the striker himself, if you bring in a striker and you put him in a system where it is not necessary for the striker to score all the goals, you're going to destroy the person, the player who is a striker, because strikers need to score goals to retain
That confidence.
They need to.
But
so
I think, let me just help you. I think I don't think he's had enough time for us to even enjoy. Maybe when he goes through preseason and he now identifies the kind of striker he wants.
Yeah.
With what we have, Broha would have been a good striker if he was. Sorry, when I say good striker, I mean he would have been a good addition if he wasn't injured. Would have seen more because he also hustles a lot. He's very similar to
Presses,
Osimhen,
very
like,
similar. Yeah.
very rugged, very direct and all. But Havertz is more finesse and silkiness in a way. But
No, it's not even
the
number
truth
9.
is,
So
the truth is, yeah, he's not, but he is in a way. But he's a different kind of number 9. I think what Potter has done in the last 3 games has been smart, and what he did, and I read the interview with Havertz, was that he has changed his role and he has given him a free role, playing behind the number 9 role, like an AM. So he has a free role where he can go left, he can drift wide, he can come deep, and he's marking. And you've
not like
seen
the first 9.
But there's a false 9 now. So what happens is that if you notice, Modric played as a false 9 against Leicester.
Yeah.
You know, so he was running into channels because Mudryk can run into channels, giving freedom for Havertz. Same way against Dortmund. Havertz dropped deep and Raheem Sterling plays as the false nine.
Yeah.
That's why Sterling was always on the shoulder of the last defender. And, all.
Yep.
And it worked. So that was brilliant tactics by Potter.
So you
Let's not lie.
think this will continue?
You get found out, but I believe this is what's going to continue.
So
you don't change the winning formula just like
consensus
that.
on the table is Osimhen to United is the best option.
Yeah,
I disagree.
100%.
I disagree. I still think why I'm using the sentiments of what Manchester United has been in the past.
Okay.
They do not like using African strikers or African players per se. And as long as Fergie is
And
in
the
that
Cole
club,
is Africa now. And the Cole is African.
English, sir. He played for England. Let's get it right.
But Africa.
Baba,
I don't think-
let's look at it. The last time they went,
I don't think that sentiment will work now.
the last time they went for a proper
No, there's a bit of,
Jemba, there is. As
there's
long
a
as
bit of-
Fergie is still in that club,
I don't know if he's-
they're not going to go
Fergie-
for it because they don't know. They
Fergie
know
doesn't
Osimhen
really
will want to play
have
for
that.
Nigeria
So
Nations
Is there any
Cup.
African player at Man United now?
Right now,
So,
yes, there
Chelsea
is
love more
Diallo.
African players.
Diallo.
It's an African
Diallo.
club.
Amad Diallo.
Amad
I
Diallo.
honestly don't know.
Is that one is on loan now? Which one? Why they mention Diallo for here?
Roman Bissaka also play for Congo. So
That's true. Man United no get African.
I honestly don't know
tell you
if
that
there's
They don't have the
if
culture.
there's
Right?
genuine-
Chelsea has the culture.
I
I me Chelsea.
this
me
is
they
the
go
sentiment with
abeg.
Chelsea that I don't
honestly
like.
don't
I mean,
know.
they
if
go
People
there's-
want that in old school
Why won't you have
Nigeria
wait,
love
wait,
Chelsea
come,
where they had
come,
Mikel
brother.
B.
We've
but that
always
was
had,
the
even
Michael
before,
Essien.
but that was
we've
the
always
thing.
had, we've always
The
had
reason that was
players.
Celestine
Funny is
Babayaro.
players.
Chelsea,
We're the
a lot of
first
Chelsea's
team.
success, you can
Yes,
attribute
now.
it to African players
Yes.
easily.
Yes,
Very
you can,
cosmopolitan
you can.
club.
And I mentioned something earlier.
Even their best player.
I
Even
mentioned
their,
something earlier.
Even their best
That
player.
was Abramovich.
Their best player is
Abramovich,
an
Chelsea.
African. Their best player is an African.
That was
Who's their best
Abramovich
player?
Chelsea.
Didier Drogba is an African.
You said that
So-
was what?
That was Abramovich Chelsea. Not
So,
not.
Baba,
not-
Baba, no, they talk
Chelsea.
that man.
Abramovich Chelsea is different
Wait.
from this Chelsea.
This one I
In
have
10
to
months,
ask.
just want to quickly
This one I have
change
to ask.
the
I don't know
DNA
if,
of the club.
I don't know if there's genuine substance to that thing that FX mentioned about United and African players. I don't know if it's genuine, but it feels like
If you
there's
look
It was
at
genuine on that
if you look
side.
at
That's
it
it
But it
now.
feels like
Look at
there
the
is-
look at the history.
They tried to sign Mikel.
but that one doesn't amount to
And they've
anything.
learned
They-
from
they-
it.
they-
Mikel Obi,
Fergie no
Mikel
greets
Obi,
Mikel Obi
wait.
against
Mikel
that
Obi
day.
even said recently.
Exactly, he
Mikel Obi
doesn't
said
like African
Mikel Obi
players.
said recently that
Yeah.
when he was in Chelsea, whenever he's in the tunnel and he
Yeah,
sees
Fergie no dey greet am.
Ferguson will not greet him because he felt
pain am
hot
now.
that Ferguson that Mikel Obi joined Chelsea. So if
we plenty pass you today. The thing is that the signing is not the issue. They've always had a bit of African signings, but it
now
just
and then.
somehow will
It
never
didn't
work
work
out.
out.
Alex
I
left
think
2013.
they signed
That's 10 years
Manucho
ago.
now.
We've moved
Manucho,
away from
very
Alex.
influential.
Manucho was played for Man United.
Why not
Angola.
keep Igalo?
No, but it's very influential. though.
Why
It's
not
very
keep Igalo
influential,
after
though.
all the goals we bang? Why not
How
keep
many
him?
goals did Igalo
Oh,
back? Igalo scored in the Carabao
But
Cup.
you people
Igalo,
like
Igalo don't hold. Igalo
No.
don't hold.
Igalo is old now.
Can you not remember that?
Eric Larsson
Can
not
you
been
not-
in 30s.
And
when
a big-
United
and
signed
a
him.
big reason why Igalo joined.
no,
A
no,
big
no,
reason.
understand.
Wait.
Igalo zone,
A
you
big
can
reason
put-
why
you
Igalo
can-
joined.
I
A
beg,
big
sorry,
reason why
I'm
Igalo
sorry.
joined United is that Igalo's agent, Ata Eneke, is a close friend of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agent. So that was a big reason. It was like
wait,
arranging.
but it
But
worked.
wait.
But it worked.
But wait.
How many
We will
games
not
did
allow
they play?
this one that
Igalo did not do anything.
I'll clear you
this
on
one that
something, you
Des
see.
just tried. We'll not
Wait till
allow
what?
it to fly
You
on
go
this
see.
table.
It must fly.
Because what Des just insinuated is that Igalo went
Based on sentiment.
solely on sentiment. But guess what? Even
big
if
reason.
that,
A
even
big
even
reason
if that
came
was
from
what,
sentiment.
even if that was how the deal, right, started. When Igalo got into United, it didn't make sense at some point when Igalo was not playing, and some certain names
Baba Kunle, I want to help
were
you.
playing.
Kunle, I want to help you. He was playing in the Europa League. Gallo was playing in the Europa League, banging.
Was banging.
The moment they got
Fact.
to the final, semi-final, final,
They
you
dropped-
remove
they
it, then you
dropped
now
him.
bring in
They
top
dropped
the
him.
senior boys.
So,
You dropped-
if it was
that
footballing reasons,
that
Igalo
was not.
deserved
He
to
deserved.
play.
Look at
Igalo
all
came-
the
Come on to the
goals he
final.
scored
Igalo
during that.
came
You are
in
meant
the
to
period
play in the
where
final.
Rashford
You didn't
was
play.
injured.
You now went for Rashford and like, of
Rashford
course
and
you were
Tony
going to
Martial
lose.
were injured.
But I think-
What is
He didn't show. He didn't show.
What is
He
a
didn't
what
show
is
loyalty
a
to
Martial?
Igalo.
I think
Who is
Igalo's. I will
Martial?
not use Igalo zone. I will
But-
use
but
past-
Igalo, nah,
past African
Igalo-
players, but.
Baba Manucho, them
Yeah,
plenty.
Manucho,
Jemba,
I made
Jemba.
mention of Manucho.
Them
But the honest is that
Quinton
when-
Fortune is the only one that even tried.
now,
Injuries.
now, bro.
Now I'm
Come
seeing
on.
Man United.
I know
Now
United
I'm seeing
in
Man
and
United,
out.
and I'm
Even though
getting
not my club.
pissed the more.
But one thing is clear.
Even Barca that should be, say we don't like African player. We still show some love to them.